Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The salinity of groundwater in some parts of Al-Batna Plain is recorded to be 65% during 2016. Supporting the sports clubs tops the discussions of His Excellency the Minister of Sports Affairs with the Shura Council members. And the Supervising Committee of the Gulf Network for Quality Assurance in Higher Education discusses the mechanisms for mutual recognition of accreditation certificates of institutes and programs. Live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television, here we present to you the details of this news bulletin. The percentage of salinity of groundwater in some parts of Al-Batna Plain reached 65% during 2016 compared to 2010. The studies conducted by the Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources to measure the salinity of groundwater in around 1,000 wells in the governorate of Al-Batna showed that the reasons behind the increase were related to random well digging, pumping unnecessary quantities of water, as well as the increase in the number of lands not suitable for agriculture. On the other hand, the studies also pointed out that the quality of water improved in around 455 wells. The area covered by this study reached around 2,300 kilometers, extending from the Wilaya of Sib to the Wilaya of Shinas. Meanwhile, in the governorate of Dhofar, the results showed an improvement in the quality of water during the last 6 years. It is worth mentioning that the Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources exerted great efforts to limit the percentage of water salinity through a number of regulations and laws, in addition to monitoring water resources networks and dams. $4 million Omani Rials is the government support provided to Oman Football Federation. This was pointed out by His Excellency Sheikh Saad bin Mohammed Al Mardouf Al Saadi, Minister of Sports Affairs, when he was hosted by Shura Council. He added that the indebtedness of the federation, which exceeded 2 million Rials, will be paid. He also said that there is continuous accountability by the ministry for any failure by sports federations in championships. For their part, the members of the Shura Council called for the considerations of the transferring sports on industry that generates money for the country. The establishment of sports clubs in some wilayas also topped the discussions of the Council's session. The Minister of Sports Affairs pointed out that there is a plan to establish a big sports complex. Statistics discussed during the sessions showed that around 1 million people are benefiting from sports clubs in the Sultanate through 10 youth complexes and 650 local teams. The mechanism for mutual recognition to institutional and programmatic accreditation certificates issued by the GCC academic accreditation authorities topped discussions of the Supervising Committee of the Gulf Network for Quality Assurance in Higher Education during its second meeting at the premises of the advisory body of the GCC Supreme Council in Muscat. Discussions also touched upon the conception on objectives and specializations of the committee and the possibility of implementing the terms of reference for the strategic plan of the Gulf Network Office in Muscat. The Directorate General of Taxation, the Finance Ministry, pointed out that amendments to income tax law aimed to overcome obstacles and challenges facing the implementation of tax system. These amendments, issued by Royal Decree No. 9/2017, also come to enhance the efficiency of the tax system in a way that keep pace with international taxation practices and developments in business sector in the Sultanate during the last few years. The new law included a package of facilities such as postponement of paying disputable tax, the right to pay the tax in installments, the right to dispute the tax, the right of tax exemption once conditions are fulfilled, and the right to transfer the losses in any year to the next taxation year. The new tax law also cancelled the legal exemptions limit of 30,000 Omani Rials in order to eliminate tax avoidance cases. It also cancelled the exceptions on income tax from for mining activities, the exports of manufactured products, operation of hotels and tourist villages, agriculture and livestock products, activities related to fisheries, wealth, higher education, private schools and hospitals. The law also introduced special provisions for taxes on small enterprises through imposing a low tax on them amounting to 3%. Converting the National Institute for Automobiles to a college meant to render specializations and programs to serve the automobile sector, and establishing a college in the special economic zone of Duqm to provide programs to serve the economic activities were the most prominent decisions of the Education Council in its first meeting for this year, chaired by His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of Diwan of the Royal Court, Chairman of the Council. The Council reviewed during the meeting results of the 6th round of the international study in math and science, dealing with assessments of knowledge, skills and abilities of students, in which the Sultanate made a noticeable improvement on Arab Gulf and international level. The Council further discussed a proposal on the establishment of an electronic platform for open educational resources, the memorandum on the project of setting up an information system and education indices in the Sultanate. His Excellency the Chairman of the Council then forwarded greetings to all teachers and employees in the education field on the occasion of the Teachers' Day, which falls on the 24th of February each year, valuing the role of teachers in delivering their educational message and in upbringing generations and preparing them for the better future. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. The Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development marked the graduation of 14 outstanding enterprises. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Omani-American relations and the fruitful cooperation between them were the main aspects of talks held between His Excellency Abdul Aziz bin Mohammed Al Rawas, advisor to His Majesty the Sultan for Cultural Affairs, and Dr. John Duke Anthony, Chairman of the National Council for Arab-American Relations in Washington, and his delegation, who is currently visiting the Sultanate along with his officials from the Central Command of the United States of America. The talks also touched upon the visit of Sultanship to New York since the 19th century and positive impact of the visit on the future of relations between the two countries. The Engineering Services at the Ministry of Defense celebrated its annual day, which calls on the 15th of February each year. The ceremony, which was held on the military ground of the Muaskar al-Murtafa, consisted of graduation of 2 different courses for officers. On the sideline of the ceremony, an exhibition was held consisting of tools of comprehensive constructions and mechanism used in the engineering services, fine arts and innovations. The activities of the ceremony were held under the auspices of Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of Sultan's Armed Forces. Providing care and the best healthy means for children up to 5 years of age were the main goals of the National Workshop for Trainers of Integrated Management of Childhood Illness Programs. The workshop, organized by the Minister of Health, comes as an extension for social health program that started in 2000, aims at intensifying efforts to provide health care for children in the Sultanate, highlighting the importance of rendering health care to children and preparing and qualifying the national cadres in this field was one of the main goals of the workshop. Integrated Management of Childhood Illness Program is considered a global program that is highly recommended by the World Health Organization, and the Sultanate is one of the leading countries that adopted it. The second day of workshop witnessed the participation of pediatric specialists and trainers in the field of child integrated health care in order to discuss mechanisms and progress of the program and the results achieved since the start of the program in 2000, in addition to the use of the latest technologies to follow up with child health care in the Sultanate of Oman. With a production capacity of 420 tons of medicines annually, the pharmaceutical industries company signed a financing agreement with Mithaq for Islamic Banking of Bank Muscat to construct a new factory to manufacture medicines in the Sohar Industrial Estate in the Governorate of North Al-Batina. The factory will be constructed using the latest techniques in the field of medicines manufacturing. The volume of real estate activities in the governorates of Al-Baremi and Al-Dhahir reached during January 2016 reached again 12 million Omani riyals. The Ministry of Housing stated that the fees collected from 3,770 legal transactions reached more than 537,000 riyals. Such deals include selling, inheritance, mortgage, infrastructure agreements, endowments, work planning and land plots registry, in addition to real estate record transactions. The number of commercial and industrial registers in the Governorate of North Al-Batina reached more than 57,000 during last year. The Director General of Commerce and Industry in the Governorate also clarified the number of transactions for commercial registers applications reached around 26,000. Meanwhile, the industrial transactions during the same period reached 268. The Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development, RIADA, celebrated the graduation of 14 of outstanding entrepreneurs. The event was held under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud Al-Sinaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. The program started in 2014 through cooperations with an international expert house in the field of supporting youth initiatives. It aimed to create radical changes in small and medium enterprises in terms of production and sustainability. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the northern parts of the Sultanate with chances of scattered rains. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with low clouds and fog over the governorates of Al-Baremi and Al-Dhahira. Winds will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The salinity of groundwater in some parts of Bulletin plain is recorded to be 65% during 2016. Supporting the sports club's talks discussions of His Excellency the Minister of Sports Affairs with the Shura Council members. And the Supervising Committee of the Gulf Network for Quality Assurance in Higher Education discusses the mechanism for mutual recognition of accreditation certificates of institutes and programs. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and studio, we do thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and good night to all of you.